Lust. Jesus got to the heart of the matter. If what you want is more important than following Jesus, that's the real problem. Jesus said, don't lust. Good morning and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy to remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said. And the point is to help you experience life to the fullest, the Jesus way. Today's Jesus said comes from Matthew 5, verses 27 through 29. And we're going to read a little extra as well this morning. Reading from the New Living Translation, where Jesus said, "You have heard the commandment that says, you must not commit adultery. But I say, anyone who even looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart." Verse 29, "So if your eye, even your good eye, causes you to lust, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell." So unpacking that's where we get the soundbite, don't lust. I mean, Jesus was using an extreme example here about how to, or how important it is to avoid this. But let's go on a little bit or go up a little bit actually, and read some context from Matthew 5 to just see really what Jesus was talking about. Jesus said in verse 17, "Don't misunderstand why I have come. I did not come to abolish the law of Moses or the writings of the prophets. No, I came to accomplish their purpose." Now, in some translations, that says to fill up their purpose, fulfill. Verse 18, "I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth disappear, not even the smallest detail of God's law will disappear until its purpose is achieved," or more literally, until all is fulfilled. Now, what Jesus was saying here was that he didn't come to abolish or do away with God's commands. But many times in our kind of cheap grace culture, we almost say that Jesus said, "I didn't come to abolish the rules, but I came to abolish them." But that's not what Jesus was saying. He was filling up the meaning behind the rules by getting to the heart of the matter. But many times today, and for those inside and outside of the church, those who follow Jesus and those who don't, a lot of times you'll hear things like, well, Jesus wouldn't do this, or Jesus wouldn't spend money on this, or Jesus wouldn't have revival this way. And many times those kinds of things are just excuses for following our own desires. When Jesus said, as we go on here to verse 19, he said, "So if you ignore the least commandment and teach others to do the same, you will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But anyone who obeys God's laws and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven." So, I mean, Jesus didn't do away with the good things that God told us to do, and also he didn't do away with the bad things that God told us to stay away from. But the rules are much more than a checklist, and especially in this context of talking about lust, this would be a great opportunity to talk about the checklist of the kinds of sexuality that aren't permitted in the Bible. But Jesus was giving a heart check here, getting to the heart of the matter. You see, our problem is not sexuality. Lust is the problem. And the definition of lust is to covet, to desire, to covet and desire things that are forbidden. And our feelings and our desires are not our identity. They're temporary. But society has this upside down, saying that our feelings and our desires and what we want is most important and that is our identity. But Jesus revealed that denying ourselves is how we experience our real identity. That's who we were created to be. We were created to be like Jesus, his righteousness, not ours. And denying ourselves is not focusing on what you get out of things, not focusing on what you get out of relationships, what you get out of anything, but focusing on what you can give and how you can love and live like Jesus. And Jesus said, even if your right eye, which in the Jewish world, this would mean your good eye, your strength, even if something good causes you to lust, tear it out. It's pretty drastic. But Jesus also taught us to pray, lead us not into temptation. It's not about how close to the line you can get, but it's about how far away from sin you can get, because it's all about the heart. Paul said it this way, Romans 14:16, therefore, do not let your good be spoken of as evil. It's not about how close you can get to the line, but how far away can we get from sin? And it's about the heart. What are we desiring? What are we lusting after? What do we want that we shouldn't have according to God's standards? Jesus said, don't lust. How can you put that into action today? Thank you so much for listening. If this is meaningful to you, it really does mean a lot when you like it, when you share it, when you comment. I really appreciate you. I hope that you have an amazing day. And I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest, the Jesus way. And remember, follow Jesus today. Love first.